Well,
That would be me, Gabriel.
Mhm.
So I found some additional pictures of what's happened with that property, and I only had one attachment, I sent it in to you, but here is the property's been consolidated. Here's the original trailer, and there was a garage, and this is Andy Pierce's house, and then this is where I live. That trailer, it got purchased in 1991, that property, our property, this was purchased in 91. This was purchased in 94 by Robert Passmore, and it says without the trailer. So the trailer got pulled out of there. And then, the next year, the garage burnt. And evidently, this is where that septic was. They had poured a slab over it, and it was your tank. And we did call up here, Bob asked Jesse, and Jesse said, no, it couldn't be pumped, so I had it done, because they were coming the next day.
Mhm.
They were coming the next day to pave.
Okay. You involved, and Brian Woodward was involved in
He
this?
did,
Yeah.
yes, he
Yeah.
did. And he
Yeah.
has the strainer that belongs to the Bayview tank that he
Huh.
pulled out of there.
Okay.
So he can prove that that was one of your tanks.
Okay.
And I had it filled in.
So you're saying we had two tanks in there somehow?
It was a separate piece of property. And
Oh.
it got combined,
Okay.
we bought that in, later in 94. This Robert Passmore bought it in 5/31 of 94. The mobile home got pulled out of there.
Okay,
So it wasn't there when we bought it.
okay.
And then we combined those two pieces of property on knowing that that tank was there.
Okay.
But in order to do it, I mean, I could have paved over it.
Right.
And then there's a
Yeah.
huge liability there. Somebody
Right.
drives over it with a big truck and they fall in it.
Right.
But I paid to have that
Right.
filled,
Mhm.
and I don't mind doing that, but the cleaning part of it, we did ask, should have probably been
Okay.
paid.
Huh.
And it took a while to find these pictures, so I didn't have this one until later.
everybody got this one.
Yeah, but this is the, you can see where the slab was, and that's where the darn trailer was, and the garage was there. Andy Pierce was on the fire department, and he drug a battery out of an aluminum boat, blew himself out of the boat, blew up the fire department boat, and burnt down our garage. And we weren't anywhere around. I lived in Bonner's Ferry then. That was.
How long was that?
1995 when Andy.
30 years ago, almost,
When
29 years.
We're dealing with some really old standing problems tonight.
You are. And,
That's all when you were a kid.
no, Bob and I are the same age.
Yeah, I can attest to her living in Bonner's Ferry.
Yeah.
Bonner's.
Right, 'cause he's on our water board up there. It seems like it would behoove you to know where all these old tanks are and be rid of them.
Wouldn't we like that, huh?
Yeah,
Gosh.
and
Apparently,
I-
don't even know where-
I hope that he did the right thing by just filling it in. Is that the right thing to do?
Oh, they're supposed to be filled in and abandoned. Bob, do you have any other comments on that yourself?
No, as long as it's filled in with CDF or sand, one or the other.
Right.
Yeah, he did.
So, what are we being asked for?
To pump the tank, the existing tank.
The existing tank for this property?
No, my tank is right here. There was a tank right here. And when we've rebuilt this garage now.
Mhm.
And when the driveway got dug out, the gravel, Brian Woodward did it, for paving,
This got removed.
this is all gone. My house is clear over here, and my tank is here.
I'm talking about this slab.
Evidently. And there was a tank underneath there. In front of my garage. We rebuilt a brand new garage there, but there was a tank that we didn't know about under the driveway.
So I have a couple of questions. So, this happened in 1995, shortly after after the system was built. If that was part of our system, was somebody paying the sewer bill all those years?
No. No, I don't think so. There was never.
So
a
how do
bill.
we get, is there an extra ER there?
That's my
It was two, well, you said it was two lots though.
It was
They were
two
combined
lots.
to one.
It
But it would
was,
have had 2 ERs then,
I would think so.
and responsibility to pay a bill for the
but,
last 30 years.
okay, but there were, that's not, yeah, I didn't have anything to do with I didn't even know there was a tank there. And it was mandatory, to be hooked up to the system, and he obviously had a trailer there, because I found that picture.
So do we have any history on the ER? Or just one
No,
that's unknown out there that,
yeah,
And how many do you have?
well, I
Yeah.
wasn't even made aware of this situation. I know that there's a text, I guess, that Bob spoke to me and Brian spoke to Bob or something.
Right.
The office never even heard about this. But apparently,
Well, it said that Bob had talked to you, and you
Right.
said no.
yeah, nobody actually contacted the office. I don't have anything
Brian,
about
Brian
this.
didn't
I don't
know. He
have anything
contacted
about
Bob.
Bob,
this.
yeah.
I don't have an
Contacted Bob.
email, I don't have
He
anything.
contacted Bob, and
Right.
Bob said
I
he
get
talked
that.
to
I get
you.
that.
Yeah.
The office has no email, nobody ever called the office. But apparently there was a tank under there and it needed to be abandoned, they found it during construction.
Mhm.
That's the whole
That's-
gist.
all good stuff, but
Simply.
do you need some time to research?
If it has an old parcel number, when was it consolidated, I would have to have an old parcel number of
Oh,
before
well,
it
I
was
have the old
consolidated.
parcel number, because I have the warranty deed from,
I don't think they put parcel numbers on warranty deeds, but they do have a tax, and I can try to look up in and around that area with a tax ID number or a lot description.
but it's obvious that it was your tank, and you would think, I'm willing to, and it was like,
Right.
oh, $750 to fill it in, I'm willing to split the difference, you pump it.
Yeah, I
and
think
pay for
one of the
the-
things at the time, we thought when I talked to Brian, well, it must be one of the older tanks that never got abandoned properly. We didn't know there was a second lot there, and it was actually Baby's tank. That was what we didn't understand, we just thought it was.
But he said it was one of Baby's tank, because when he lifted it, the
Right,
basket
that's,
was
that
in it.
was, I didn't know that information until now.
Okay, so there was a communication
Right,
gap between
yeah, so I
you,
didn't know that. yeah.
communication gap between you and Brian,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I have my EIN at home, Jesse, I can,
I can look it up on the Kootenai County
So that got
website and try to
consolidated.
cross